Well, finally, we got front brakes now, I hope. We're going to take it from here, around this road. Anyway, back to the house to do more work to it. 25 miles. Here we go. Well, she made it to her first gas stop. Didn't go far, maybe 10 miles. Took 5 gallons, so we put 10 in it, so it'll hold 15. All right, here we go. Well, we made it. Got her out of the grave. So tomorrow I got to fix that issue. I got a new one in there. This master cylinder is just, well, it's just not happy at all. Other than that, though, I think she'll be all right. Tree hit it there. So I'm going to take a bottle jack and go under here, I think. Try to at least push it back up, but yeah. There's old Blue. All right. Day 4. On the to-do list. Change the master cylinder. It's just leaking them so bad. If I can get these off without breaking them, I'll be in good shape. And then rear wheel cylinders, both of them. The lines in the front, possibly. Put on the new pads. I gotta take this part too. And put this latch from this door into this one. This one's got a problem. It won't lock. And then eventually sometime we gotta focus on floors. Cause there's some rot. And she's just, well, there ain't really no floor in it. This side isn't too bad, I don't think. You can see light through there and all. Well, the guy washed his truck. He didn't do a very good job at all. This floor here is pretty bad shape. It's all gone. Ain't nothing there till you get about there. I'm glad I didn't get into here where the seat fastens down. That'd have been a problem. But this will be later on. Well, the tree just had to do that. Alright, it's time to get busy. Alright, yeah, go for it. Just nice and slow. So we can see here, we're going to get all this air out of this thing. Little bits. Alright, well, we're going to be here for a little bit doing this. So, get her done. I'll be back. The problem I'm having now, which I figured was going to happen, the oil cylinder on this one, up there, cannot, it'll turn, the flare will turn, but it's taking a line with it. I got to change this wheel cylinder. This line has to come out. So I come over here, on this side, same problem. This turns, but it's taking the line with it, so it'll twist it. I've heated it with what I have. Then I go to here. This one turns, but it takes the line with it. This one I haven't tried yet. I'm going to just break this off and break this one off, because if I don't, then they got to get a rear brake hose, and all up in here is the same problem. If that breaks off, then I got to flare up in here and make a joint and all kind of crap. So I'm going to get violent and take this one out, and go get what I need. All right, little buddy, you're going to come off, or you're just going to be put in the trash can. Well, my wrench is stuck. Okay, cut that for 1 second. All right. I had to change wrenches. The line wrench won't work. See how it's twisting the whole thing? Well, I'm just going to let it twist the whole thing. And just replace the line. You know what? I got a better idea. Why not just get real violent? That one's off. So now I can just take this off and replace that whole entire line, because all this is just junk now. And then this one, I'm gonna do the same way. I'm gonna turn this block to where I can get to it. Looks like up or down. That way. I'm gonna put that right there. And then I'm gonna get this screw 'em up driver, and I'm gonna screw this one up too. No, that won't do it. Well, something to cut it with, just cut it. I got something to cut it with right here. These are bolt cutters and fuel and brake line cutters. That's how you fix that problem. So whoever watches this, want me to fix their brakes for them, I can take care of it for you. Now, if all goes well, simply put that in there and turn, in which it did. Yeah, see, it's just twisting it all, which now I don't really care because I'm changing it all. And that's how you do that. So I'll just go to town, get a piece of line pre-made close to this length. I'll bend it, come to this side, and I'll bend it, and just run it right back over there where that one's at. So I don't want to get too violent, because I want to make sure I get the right length. If I can keep this more together. I don't know why it's hard to come off. They've only been on here for 40 years or more. There. And then take my brake line cutters and just cut it off. And there you go. Problem be solved when we get back. Alright. So, drum brakes. You got to get violent on those two. Oh, here we go. That is brake fluid that has been leaking for years. And this domestic wheel cylinder I gotta change. Other than the fact they're oily, I can not even have to worry about changing these. Alright. Well, that's that. So now we know what we need. Now we're gonna head to town and get our stuff. So I ran into a problem today with brake lines. And, well, got two sets of wheel cylinders, but they're actually both the same. But I can't remember now, the passenger side and the driver's side, one side is a little bit smaller. That'll go into the wheel cylinder, but to go into the rear brake line on that side, it takes this one. They don't make them. So I bought two pieces of brake line that will screw into the master wheel cylinder, but I got to take this out and cut this, put this on, and then flare it so it'll go into the brake hose on the rear. That took all day. So what we can do here. Alright. So I got a heat. maybe that much, and just see if it'll come loose out of that pipe. And it did. It did. Oops. See, now it's turning. So I got to knock this thing out. And put this one, can't see, this one, slide it on that one and cut it, and then I got to try to make, and I will make, a new flare. Alright, let me get it out of there. And this one, I had to really cut it off short. So I got to heat that one. Let's see if I can get it out of the thing here. Alright, now, try to hold this camera. Probably can't do her. Hold on. Alright, it's going to do it. I just got to hold everything here and get her done. Got an old wall here and a hammer. And if you look real close, you'll see that that's going down. And it's driving that old line out. And there she went. So I got that one out. There she went. Alright. Boy. So now I can take this piece and I'll cut the line like I did the other one. But this is a different size than the other one. This one here is bigger. But like I said, that one won't go in the wheel cylinder. This one will. Nothing like working on an old truck. Well, March 16th on a Monday. Day 5, we decided to change a plan. Bring old Blue inside. Because it's supposed to rain really hard again later. It'll be down to 18 tonight. So, at least now I can do the rear brakes without laying in the mud. And all that good stuff. Alright then. Much better. Oh, I just noticed in behind the seat with the mice and all the just stuff. So, got to get all that cleaned up. Alright, let's get the vacuum cleaner out. Well, the mice has got to it. I guess that's part of the seat. Well, they're not here anymore. That's not yet. That. Take the seat back down. Well, that's good for that. So I ain't have air coming out of the heat box. And this won't go all the way over, but if I go back and forth, it's coming out of the vent. Let's try it now. There it goes. I just got nowhere. Put it over here. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're getting some airflows now. Still some pocket though. Okay, tree damage repair. I'm thinking of bottle jack several times and whoop on it with a hammer. Maybe I can pull some of this out and beat this down with a hammer. Let's just see. Yeah? Alright, we're going to whoop on it with a hammer here and there and be back with you. Alright, I'm going to whoop on this thing and see if I can knock this high spot down. Let's see what I do. Now, I'm wondering if I can hit it right here. I'll put my jack in here and see what it does. I don't know. It's double layered. That's why it's a little hard. What does that look like? I beat it more. Is that going to be better or worse? That might have to be good for what it is, you know. All right, so we pulled out number one spark plug and put the bore scope down in the old girl, and if you can see it, probably can't. There is no crosshatch at all. But piston's clean. That's kind of hard to see, but I wish I could get it to a valve. This is number one cylinder. There's no scoring. It's just a very hairline scratches. And that mark, can you see that mark? Where it sat at Andrews, right? That one. Point to it with your... that big one, right? Yeah, right in there. That's where it sat up for a while. Now, if I can get to a valve, that'd be pretty nice. That spark plug hole there, so if I turn it like that, stick it back down in there. No, I can't get to the valves. Anyway, I don't really see any ring ridge. Maybe somewhat right there, but, you know, for 200, I don't know how many miles on it, 200 something, what, 250, I don't know, no idea. All right, that's where we're at with that. Just thought we'd check it out before we drove over to Florida. So, yesterday, this door would never latch. And all up inside of here, you probably can't see it, but the little rod that, when you push that, it releases this thing. It was stuck. Finally got it to work. Somewhat adjusted the door. So I thought, well, since I'm in here, I think this may not work. So, and the Mises chewed a hole in it. So I'm going to change that out, put this door panel back on this morning, and get some brakes. Still ain't got no brakes. This is day 6, I think. It is. Here we go. Well, I didn't film or tape, video, whatever, putting in that well cylinder. Right there. There's the one that came out. Where is it? That's the one that came out, and no possible way it would have worked. I mean, I could not get this bleeder to come off loose. That's the fuel line, brake line that I broke off the other day. That wouldn't come out. This thing ain't worked in years. But both new ones are in now. So now it's time to, and behind it there, that orange cap is, start running my brake lines to both sides. So that's going to be interesting. I got to make my own. All right. Here we go. Get her done. All right, we back now. After about a day and a half of not figuring out what was wrong with it, I was determined it was a portion valve that wouldn't allow fluid to get to the rear. So with a test. I took the back line off of it. It goes to the rear only. He went in and mashed the brake pedal and fluid came out of it. That means that's good. That means there's a blockage in the brake line between here and the rear drums. So I crawled underneath the old blue here. I gotta find where I found it. So I traced all the lines back from all the way up there, all the way back, all the way back, and right here. I can't find it now. Hold on a minute. Let me see. Right there. If it'll pick it up or not. Not. Huh. Right here. It's been smashed with a pair of pliers. And then it's rotted off right there. Because it needed oil cylinders. That one over here leaked. And you had to keep putting fluid in it. Well, that was mashed off. This video is crazy. A day and a half trying to figure that out. So, well, alright. I hadn't videoed in a day and a half because we just had so many issues with brakes, but I will go over all that shortly. But for now, we're going to rebuild on the old springs and frame, and might even rebuild the old drum. It needs rebuilding too. And the way you do that is get you some of that auto parts store. Shake her up real good. And just spray it on there. Just get it anywhere and everywhere. Just make it all just covered up. Even up on the old frame. You can rebuild them too with it. It says undercoating, but it's actually rebuilding the can. Alright. So let me get the rest of this stuff done. And then we'll be back with a big long story.